Just a good old smash, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble on social media since before its existence. Straightening facts, smacking down hacks. Someday our viewers might get me, but big tech never will. Making my way the only way I know how. That's just a little bit more than big tech will allow. Just a good old smash, wouldn't change if I could. Fighting the nonsense, it's a neo-renaissance in the hood.
All right, everybody, I just wanted to make a video here about something completely different, just basically a meteorology video. I was doing some satellite sightseeing, and I saw some interesting sights that I thought you might like to see as well. So I decided to look at some weather stuff, and I saw something worth covering. So here's part of it. And what you've got is an insane ice storm here over central Texas. And leave us a comment if you're viewing from central Texas, as it is a disaster out there. We've also got some ground-based Doppler radar artifacts on the map up here, which will cause people to think that there's a ray gun from outer space or chemtrails or some other stuff that's not a real thing. First thing we're going to actually do here is look at some stuff going on around Florida. So I just looked at the satellite image over Florida because I was considering calling in a missile strike on Florida, but I decided not to. Just kidding, folks. Not really going to call in a missile strike on Florida. And so I wanted to look at that first. And thanks for tuning in, Ms. Creighton and Amp Mods. Thank you very much for leaving comments. So I wanted to just show you this little interesting series of phenomenon here. Number one, you've got two systems overlapping. You can see higher altitude clouds up here that are part of a different system. And you can see this system down here. The winds are kind of swirling around here. But I wanted to note, you can see three different points of rapid cloud nucleation happening all at the same time. Under my pointer right here, right off the northeast coast of Florida. One down here off the east central coast of Florida. And one over here just west of Lake Okeechobee there. Also one down here. I don't know what that is. That's Grand Bahamas, I think. Let's see, all those cloud nucleations all happening almost at exactly the same time, as if they're synchronized. So here's an image of what's going on in the water vapor. And you can see how that's indeed sudden cloud nucleation, as you can see additional water vapor, making a dry portion of the atmosphere a little less dry there. So there's a great view of that, sort of a little bit of the thermodynamics going on there in sudden cloud nucleation events. And you can see often the way the flow of water is going looks completely different than the flow of the clouds. And this all has to do with the fact that, well, while all things aren't electric, your weather largely is electric. And I'm not going to get into the weeds of any theoreticizing or anything like that. So we're going to actually zoom back out here and zoom into Texas. And let's pick the Gulf Coast portion, as that should show the biggest gradients. See if we can get about the same comparable images. By the way, if you're using the NASA GOES visible interactive satellite, you got to set that to low to have the same zoom as the water vapor map. That's pretty close. Not half bad. So there's this ice storm over Texas. You can see this very distinct cloud right here. Looks like a cumulonimbus cloud. And that southern portion of the storm is actually the part that's got some severe thunderstorms. Indeed, well, maybe not so severe. Let's check the lightning, actually. And I think there is some lightning striking there around the Houston area, it looks like. Not super active right now, actually. But in any case, that's what's going on in the cloud layer. Here is the water vapor map. And this dry air down here is sure taking its time moving out of there. Part of the reason for that system persisting. And there is some compression coming in from the north. You see some dry, massive air up there. And I'll actually move that to southern Texas. So here's the radar map. A little bit of snow mixed in there, allegedly. If it is snowing, it's some wet, heavy snow. I don't know what the power outage situation's like there. And there are power outages in West Virginia, about 42,000, Kentucky, and in Texas. A total of about 150,000 out of power in those 3 states. At least it won't be super cold in Texas. But in any case, that's what's going on in the water vapor. That should clarify the situation a little bit if you're only looking at the Doppler radar map. Might not be all that helpful. And if you've got any place you'd like us to look at, Ms. Craton or AMP mods, just leave us a comment, let us know. And if you're viewing on YouTube at a later time after this premieres, if there's some spot you'd like us to do a future forecast on, let us know. Perhaps we'll consider it. And next, let's look at the northern part of this system here. We're going to zoom in on the Kentucky-West Virginia border. I think that's a good spot, as there's a considerable power outage situation there. Just let me get the maps up for those areas, and we'll see if we can get a grasp of what is occurring. So here's the visible satellite. And if you're wondering what's going on with the Great Lakes, when winds blow across bodies of water, they have a tendency to speed up, which creates a surface level high, as all the winds tend to concentrate at the surface of the water. So the moisture is actually moving north a little bit here, but you've got bands of moisture around the Tennessee, North Carolina border there. And that's going to swirl around a bit. It's not going to move as quickly as it may appear. And again, when you're looking at a Doppler radar map, that doesn't help you. Bring up a water vapor map. And it might give you a better idea of what will happen next, as this is a ground-based system which is only measuring vertical motion in the air column. And it's really a series of tied together ground systems, which is why you can only zoom on certain spots. And these have to be tuned just right, otherwise you'll see things like snow above your head when it's not really snowing. So, for example, these areas up here, you may not even be seeing snow there. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was no snow here. The Doppler radar often picks up precipitation that never makes it to the ground. In other words, it can re-vaporize on its way down. It could even recondense onto a cloud, depending on the pressure situation. So some power outages there. Anyway, there's the water vapor. And I was looking at some Lichtenberg patterns, interestingly, over New York on the visible, which is how I got looking all around at the visible radar, satellite. And we'll actually do a high zoom here to show the full capabilities of the death satellite. Yes, that goes east. I'm not sure what number it is. I was too far to the east, folks. There you can see these valleys up here that look like Lichtenberg patterns. You get likely some fog up there, actually. Perhaps an icy, icy fog. Not the most optimal condition. These areas up here are notoriously cold and snowy spots. In any case, that's what's going on with the water vapor in the northeast. And for all of you stargazers, I just made some new Helio viewer videos. I'll give you a sneak peek. And just give me a quick moment. I'll show you both of them. Why not? All right, so here's 193 angstroms. I haven't even seen this one myself yet, as I'm wondering if this filament has entirely ejected. I think there may have been some additional coronal mass ejecta. You'll find out soon enough. It's a reaction video. Here it is. Oh my God! It's a filament, and then it'll do filamentary things. And then it's going to eat me. Oh my God! I apologize for that temporary aside. So yeah, there's 193 angstroms. Let me bring up 304 also. Just give that a minute to load. It'll probably be well worth it. An epic filament ahead of the sunspot that failed to get a name for some reason. Leave us a comment if you have some idea why 2802 never got a name 2802. I think somebody was asleep at the wheel. They were probably hiding in their home wearing a mask. Or 2 masks, or perhaps 18 masks. I'm not sure. Leave us a comment if you know the magical number of masks which will protect you from viruses. The magical number. Is the answer to life, the universe, and everything 42 masks? Let us know in the comments. Leave us a towel in the comments. Well, that's all she wrote, folks. I am out of here. It's about time to close this thing out. Thanks for tuning in. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. smAsho. And this has been a little Earth weather, going satellite sightseeing to see what we see. Did we see the sea? I don't know. Anyway, later, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I am out of here.
Just a good old smash, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble on social media since before its existence. Straightening facts, smacking down hacks. Someday our viewers might get me, but big tech never will. Making my way the only way I know how. That's just a little bit more than big tech will allow. Just a good old smash, wouldn't change if I could. Fighting the nonsense, it's a neo-renaissance in the